Right, so nearly 2 years on after uploading my last video, I am now back with another video, and this video sees me do the Three Peaks Challenge, which consists of Ben Nevis, the highest mountain in Scotland, Scafell, the highest in England, and Snowdon, the highest in Wales, and the company I was doing it with attempted to do all three in less than 30 hours. On the first day, I had to get the train up to Glasgow, where I would be picked up in a minibus. And looking at the Scottish weather made me question what I was doing, because as you can see, on the train as I was going there, it looked grim and miserable and very bleak, as it normally does in Scotland, to be fair. So we had to wake up at 4 AM the first day to climb up Ben Nevis, and this was the hostel we were staying in. It was good because it was right at the base of the mountain, and it was quite modern as well. So all we had to do was walk over a road, and then we were at the start of the mountain. Now this was the first section as we were going up, and I haven't climbed a mountain in a while, so it was really hard on the back of my knees, and I did struggle getting used to the pace on the first section, because this woman in blue here was our guide, and she was walking so fast because we had to stick to a tight time schedule, and she knew kind of the pace you had to go at to get to the top within the time. So she was walking really fast, and it was really hard to get used to it, but eventually I did, and I got to grips with the pace, which was still quite difficult for the rest of the challenge, but it did make things a lot easier. I really like Choose a Challenge, a company we did it with, because there were some slower people that couldn't make it to the top of each mountain. So there were 4 kind of professionals going up with us on each mountain, so we could split into 4 groups if needed, so the people that wanted to go to the top could, and the people that didn't have to. We were then passed by these army guys. Now these army guys were doing training, and they are really lucky because they had a Chinook to fly them to each of the mountains, and they were attempting to do it in like 18 hours or something, but they had a helicopter to go to each mountain, which is insane. The weather then quickly got very grim, so we had to put our raincoats on, we had to put the waterproof covers over our bag very soon on the journey. This was probably after about half an hour of walking. And then as you can see from this clip here, the rain was pelting down at this point. Everyone has their waterproof covers on their bag, and yeah, the rocks started to get really slippy, so you had to watch your footing a lot more. And considering I've had about 5 hours sleep, and at the moment in this video it's probably like 5 AM, 5:30 maybe, it was kind of difficult, to be honest. And then this is the lake. This lake is one of kind of the main landmarks as you're walking up Ben Nevis, so you can know where you are. And then this is the waterfall, which we were told was a halfway point. I filled up my water from the water because it's safe to drink here, and then onwards with the trip. This section of the mountain kind of felt like another world in a way, because it was very rocky, and it just kind of looked like the moon in a way. It was very grey. There wasn't really much else except for like these rocks just lying around, and yeah, it wasn't the best view to look at. Obviously you can still see a bit of the view, but it was very cloudy and very misty. these structures here that you can see on the video, they're the structures on the top of Ben Nevis. Obviously, there's a lot more on this mountain compared to a normal mountain, as it is the highest in the UK. And then there's the small tower thing, the cairn on the top of this little pile of stones here. That's like the official top, and it says on the pillar what you can see from the top, which we couldn't see because it was obviously really misty. So here's me just climbing up to the top, and then I'm here at the top now, meaning I have conquered the first mountain. I am at the highest point in the UK, and now we just have to get down. We are a sixth of the way through the mission. Now, this was interestingly snow, actually. You don't normally see snow at mountains in summer in the UK. And this was actually the only snow we saw on the entire trip. The weather on this mountain was so changeable, so as you can see it's pouring down with rain and it's very windy at the same point as we were going up at this waterfall. And then about 20 minutes later, look at the weather, it was beautiful. As we were coming down this section, it was probably like 11 AM at this point because we were quite near the bottom, and the common people of the world that were just leisurely climbing the mountain were walking up it, and everyone kept saying morning to me, and I had to keep like checking the time because I was like, oh, surely it's not morning, when yes, it was still morning, but because we'd been awake since 4, that was our wake up time. It really didn't feel like morning, and I kind of envied these people because they were walking up whilst the weather was beautiful. Like, the weather always starts off in the day a bit iffy, shall we say, because the sun's not had time to like come through and like kind of warm the clouds up. And then look at the view. I showed this same viewpoint on the way up, and it looked so different. Like, I wish it was like that the whole way. And then we got on the coach, and we were heading to Scarfell. A lot of people slept on the coach. I couldn't really do that because I was waiting for my uni results, and also I can't sleep in the daytime. So on to Scarfell Pike now, the highest mountain in England. We started climbing this mountain at around 7 PM, which is probably the latest time I've ever started climbing a mountain. I was quite tired at first due to not sleeping on the coach, but eventually, you know, like the fresh air and just the exercise did wake me up. This mountain was probably my favourite of the three, mainly due to the fact that it didn't actually rain. Spoiler alert for Snowdon, I'm sorry. But yeah, it was the least effort as well because it was the smallest of the three.
Oh, what a view.
Right, so our guide on this mountain, you can see her at the front, the woman in like the fluorescent lead in the group. She said she used to be a very keen hiker and she went all around the world to hike, such as like the Himalayas and Bhutan. And then she said she had an accident 10 years ago where she broke all her bones whilst doing ice picking, climbing up like a cliff face. And she used to like lead school groups on the Himalayas and in Bhutan as well, and then stopped. And she's only just started leading groups again in the UK after that accident. And she's going back to the Himalayas very soon, the first time after her accident, to do trekking there. And I was amazed at how kind of fit and healthy she was, especially after that accident, because she also said she was in a coma for a while. And she said she was 60 years old, and she was fitter than me, like much, much fitter than me. Like she was leading the pace of the group, and she like belted up the mountain, and she used to say to us, okay, we're not going to have a break for 40 minutes. Like you've got to go at my pace. If you want to stop, then tough. Like just do what you need to do at the next time we stop. All of this was all well and good, but we finished this mountain at 11:30 when we only needed to finish at 12:30. So then when we did get to Snowdon, we arrived there an hour early, and then the hostel we were going to pick up breakfast from hadn't even opened. So it was all well and good her rushing, and it was a great workout, but it didn't actually really like put us forward in the mission. But I do still really rate this woman. And then the person in the front here, the guy with the green rucksack, he had his dog with him. And he's apparently got loads of like world records for running up the hills in the Lake District in the fastest time. And I thought it was adorable how he brought his dog up. And that was honestly like the best behaved dog I've ever seen, because the dog just followed the group and kept at the pace of the group as well. Like must have been such a good workout for the dog as well, because this dog literally runs with him up mountains. So I can't imagine many dogs in the world are more fit and healthy than this dog here. And then the thing that really struck me about this mountain was the floor. Like it was very, very hard to kind of pick your footing, and there wasn't really a defined path. So as you can see here, you really had to be careful with your footing, or then you would fall and maybe twist your ankle. And as you can see, this isn't really a path we're walking up. It's just kind of like a group of rocks all bunched together, and especially as it was late at night as well.
Great job, guys! As a team, up the steps in the middle. Yep. We are officially halfway done. Yes.
Oh, what a lovely sunset this is. And then at this point, my GoPro ran out of storage, so I was using my phone. We all had to put our head torches on, and it was so weird walking down the mountain as it was getting dark, because like at some points you couldn't tell what time of day it was. When we were in the fog, it was just like, it was a really weird like light grey light, and you just couldn't tell what time it was. And then just like that, after an overnight drive, we were on to Snowdon, and just look at that weather. This mountain was grim. It was absolutely awful. I probably got about an hour and a half sleep on the coach, and we got to the base, and it was so windy, it was so rainy, it was so misty, and I was on 1.5 hours of sleep, and it was like right up the mountain. Like the start was misty, you couldn't see where you were at the base level, and because it was so windy, the rain was just like flying into your face. Like the waterproof trousers were out, the waterproof coat was out. I don't think I've ever climbed a mountain in worse conditions, actually. This mountain was also quite technical. I'm going to leave you with quite a lot of the footage now. And what I mean by technical is that it was quite scrambly at parts. It was very steep. You had to like put your hands on the rocks and like pull yourself up parts. And you had to be very intricate with your footing as well, especially as the rocks were really, really slippy because of the rain. And then this is the part here which leads up to the summit. The guide said the winds were 80 mile an hour. And you'll see as I was walking down from the top post, like, you can see me walking so slowly because I was walking down these stairs and I actually thought I would legitimately just blow off the mountain. Like, you couldn't walk down in a straight line, the wind was that strong. So I'm not going to play any music now, because I want you to really experience how high the winds were. Bear in mind, all of this footage is like 8:30 in the morning, so most of you probably weren't even out of bed when this was being filmed. Probably like half an hour, maybe.
Half hour?
Yeah.
When?
There's a lot of people on that train going up to see nothing. And then coming down was long. I don't remember the name of the path we took down, but we took a different path down, which was good. It gave more variety, because the path on the way up was way too steep to walk down, especially in these conditions. And it went on and on and on, and our guide was like, oh, it's halfway. It really didn't feel like halfway. I just wanted to get this challenge done as soon as possible.
Forever I'll follow, you'll be my holy ground. You forever I'll follow, in immortality. I can see you and
Does walking backwards help? It's kind of scary not being able to see where you're going. And then this road here was the final road down. It seemed like it went on for a while, and it really didn't. It was just quite steep and our legs were aching. But yeah, this was at about 11:30 a.m. and when we got back to the bottom of the mountain, we finished in the village of Cambris, which isn't a route I've taken down before, because there's many routes up and down Snowdon. And we got to the village before 12, which meant that we had completed the challenge in 30 hours. So, yeah, thank you very much for watching this video. I hope you have enjoyed. I do hope to upload again soon. I was just waiting for the right opportunity to upload another video. I would like to do this challenge again. Maybe not for the near future because my legs were aching. I could barely walk up and downstairs for about 3 days after this challenge. So maybe not soon, but I would like to try it again, and this time do it in 24 hours because I felt it was possible. Because the pace went up each of the mountains. I think just increase the pace by about 10%, then we could get it done in 24, assuming there's no traffic or anything. And there were also stops. So we stopped at a service station for probably half an hour. We got to the breakfast place at Snowdon an hour early and had to wait an hour for breakfast. So by more efficient planning and cutting it down and slightly faster walking pace and with a smaller group as well, so there's not people holding you up, then yeah, I definitely think that's possible. So yeah, that wraps up the video now. Thanks for watching, and I will see you when I next upload.